Today, I'm getting out of my comfort zone. Goodbye peaceful and empty void, and welcome darkness and dangerous abyss. My goal here is to survive 100 days in this cave-only world, with nothing but my bare hands. This means that basic resources such as trees, animals, or dirt are hard or impossible to come by. Not only that, but I would be plunged into darkness, with nowhere to be safe. And if I die, my work gets deleted. Along the way, I want to accomplish some goals for this challenge. First, I want to set up a villager training hall. Then I want to create a nice cave base. But I also want to get fully enchanted netherite armor and tools, as well as building 3 automatic farms. And finally, I have to beat the ender dragon and the wither boss. If you like this video, consider hitting the like button and subscribing. I'm trying to reach 1k and it really helps me out. Now it is enough talking, and let's start the challenge. Day 1. I started my journey inside the dead end, and with no way of getting wood at the moment, the best thing I could do is to mine for some blocks, since they are my only means to defend myself, at the moment at least. I climbed up the hill and saw some water, so naturally I went there to see if there were some fishes inside. And what would you know, there are some. They just had to be tropical fish, which basically doesn't feed you at all. But then I remembered, oh wait, glowberries are edible, so I collected some more and went to try to gather wood. And for that I could either find a mine shaft, that would pretty much guarantee me to find some wood, or I could kill a skeleton, hope it drops a bone, and pray that it grows in this alien tree. Yeah, I chose the latter option. This is now my 6th world.
Boom.
Well, technically 7th, cause one spawned me at the top of the roof with no hopes of surviving. I continued walking and saw some magma blocks and thought this meant that there was a ruined portal next to me. Yeah, okay, I just wasted my time. Or did I? Cause right on top of those blocks there was a skeleton and an armored zombie, and when you factor in that mobs can go on and kill each other, this was just an opportunity I couldn't let go. Like, I even received the help of a spider. This was meant for it to happen. I went on and collected my prize and told customer support to scram. This was my bone. Oh look, he left me a little gift. I went back on the top of the hill and got greeted by a creeper. At first I thought he was trying to kill me, but in reality he was saving me some wood that was spent for the wooden pickaxe. What a lovely guy. A bit of terraforming later and I planted the sapling, and I finally got some wood. From here I did what you would expect. I made some tools and went digging for iron, but got attacked by a skeleton in the process, so I ran to hide from it. My cave dweller instinct led me straight to a dead end, where I closed myself out from here. I told you, I'm not taking any risks. From there I smelted all the iron I had, I crafted a sword and some armor, and claimed back the terrain from the invaders. Whoa, that water stream is really just a fish spawner in itself. Like, look at how many there are. With the remains of that skeleton, I grew another tree and then went on to gather more iron to make a full set of iron armor. Day 2. Now that I had a way to fight back the mobs, it was time to work on stability, which means more glowberries, more wood, and more iron. Look, I have a full set now. On my way back, I saw 2 endermen and reminded them that bigger isn't always better. That's why I have 2 pearls now. I chopped down some more wood and in the process discovered that there was a dungeon. Skeletons? Nope. Spiders. I mean, I'll take that. It's better than a zombie spawner. The loot's inside the chest though? Oh, bones, string, a disc, and most importantly, a golden apple. With no oak trees in this world, those are super valuable. And you know, after spending some time, I started to grow a liking to this place. So I decided to turn it into a base. It's not much, but it's honest work. I even decorated it a bit. And to finish off this day, I went around and lit the whole place. Won't want a creeper sneaking up on me. Day 3. I started working towards my food prawn, but with this little amount of dirt, there was only so much I can do. I mean, it's not much, but it's honest work. I had 8 loaf of bread. This ain't too bad, but just to be safe I took a golden apple, and then went mining. By walking. I mean, he barely uses any saturation, so why as well. I went to explore the deep dark biome while making sure to not set off any shriekers. I wasn't sure if I could spawn a warden outside an ancient city, but I didn't want to find out. I finally found some diamonds, and it was a free vein, just enough to craft a pickaxe. But it would be a waste to throw a perfectly fine iron pickaxe, so I'm keeping it until it runs out. I found some more diamonds, or I should say diamond, because there was only one vein. After spending some time in the dark, I started hallucinating of a new life on the other side of the light. Sweet, sweet sun. Reminder to always be careful in this world. Day 4. I forgot to press record. Only for half of the day though. Don't worry, you didn't miss much. I pretty much found a mineshaft with a lot of redstone and diamonds. And on my way to find some more, I got a carrot from a zombie, which is going to be super useful later. Diamonds? Don't mind if I do. Here's some more, and it's a huge vein too. And now I have enough diamonds to make every necessary tool in the game. Yes, necessary. Oh look, a small friend. On my way back I came across a zombie villager. And well, they're useful and all, but he's far away.
Definitely don't need it. I need it!
I decided that instead of going through a war zone trying to protect this guy, it would be easier for me to just mine my way back. And if on paper it sounds good, in practice it was tedious. Like really boring. It took 15 minutes. I arrived inside the deep dark biome next to my house, so like a reasonable man I prepared a walkthrough and slay all the inhabitants to get him across easily. Oof, that's not good. What? Come on, that's far away, you shouldn't have alerted it. Okay, I'm not proud to admit it, but I spent half of day sick trying to find my entrance. I reunited with the zombie, and now I just have to get him across the deep dark biome without sending off any shriekers. Okay, this one isn't even fair, I couldn't even see it. Day 7, I finally arrived at my base. To celebrate, let's dig a hole for the zombie to chill in. I will have some plans with you later. I went back inside my base and smelted everything I had, but I also realized that I didn't mind a lot of iron. Not that it really mattered at the moment. Then I proceeded to grow some carrots, just so I wouldn't lose them by accident. Honest question guys, do you craft beds in a hardcore just to sleep in them? After all, if you die you don't respawn, so does it even matter? Well, I don't know, but I went ahead and crafted one anyway. Really? We are inside a cave, how can you guys spawn in the first place? Ow. Ow. Ow, okay, fine, I'll kill you. You're happy now? What are you looking at, zombie? You want some? Oh. I guess he wanted to give me some. Okay, I'm not going to lie, I can't even remember what I was trying to look for. But I know how my axolotl died. Alright, a villager. I was looking for a zombie villager. It's fine guys, I really just need him. You can always dispose here. Wasn't even close. I promise. And why are these guys back? Like I already killed your friends. I ran into a wall so I trapped him and it was back to digging. Day 8. I went around trying to find another zombie villager and came across a dungeon with another golden apple and some melon and pumpkin seeds. What? No! Go away! That's why nobody likes you! Okay, this one was totally my fault, I didn't pay attention enough. I'm going to kill everyone that voted for this mob to get added. Day 9. I made a small detour into my base in order to grow some potatoes. They're a pretty decent food source after all. I still didn't find my villager, but I saw some weird looking rocks poke out of the ground, and turns out it was a geode. So on day 10 I went ahead and mined its entirety, and yeah, I think that's enough flux. In fact, mining that geode almost broke my pickaxe, so I made a temporary one with stone to prevent it from breaking. And right as the day was ending, I finally found my villager. You know what time it is? It's spending way too much time mining. Time-ish. It sounded better in my head. Or did I spend too much time mining? Cause I found another cave pretty fast. I don't know how I didn't set up that shrieker, but I'm glad I didn't. And I proceeded to set up the shrieker right next to it because lack of IQ, I guess. And once the darkness effect dissipated, I saw a skeleton dungeon, and look! Another golden apple. Anyway, I was back to mining for 8 hours. I finally found another cave after breaking 2 stone pickaxes, and turns out it was the exact same one where I brought my other villager. So like you could imagine, I went ahead and brought it back, and now I had 2 zombie villagers. Then I started crafting the ingredients to make the weakness potion and came across 2 problems. 1, I needed brown mushrooms, which I didn't have but I knew where to find some. 2nd, I also need sugar, which I had but I threw away thinking it was useless. So now I was looking for a witch hoping she would drop sugar. There was so many skeletons pushing me back, I almost died to a creeper even. Thankfully, I crafted myself some diamond gear. Day 12. I'm still looking for that witch, and that was worrying. I could find skeletons, I could find creepers, I could find zombies, but I could not find a single witch. The game did this on purpose, I swear. I found so many of those when I was trying to mine for some diamonds. But now that I'm willingly looking for one, I just cannot find a single one. At this point I didn't even care, I triggered so many of these and the warden never came, so he's probably just spawning inside of ancient cities. After running around for a while, I finally came across a witch, but it was surrounded by so many mobs, especially creepers. And despite all of that, the witch just gave me gunpowder. Surely trying to add salt to injury here. I kept searching but couldn't find another witch, but I'm not giving up. I want these villagers. Oh look, another friend. I found a mineshaft, but still no witches. Day 13. I have yet to find another witch and my patience is starting to run out. But I'm so desperate for these villagers. I ran out of food, I'm cold, and my helmet broke. But on the bright side, I found a dungeon with a golden apple. And a mending book as well. Day 14. I gave up and returned home, but a stroke of luck hit me, like there was a witch next to my base. I didn't even have time to check if she dropped sugar or not because I was getting attacked by a zombie and a phantom while being poisoned. That was close. And thank God the witch actually dropped sugar. I baked my potatoes and then crafted a new set of diamond armor and tools, as well as a jukebox, cause why not? Day 15. I'm starting the preparation to go to the nether by first getting a flint and steel. Then I was thinking of a place where I would put the portal and settle with the spider dungeon next to me. After all, it was temporary. I entered the portal and spawned in everyone's favorite biome, the basalt delta. I made it out of this biome and was looking for a fortress and brown mushrooms so I could make a weakness potion. And this felt like the witch story all over again, cause I cannot find a fortress. And no, you're not helping here. I will take the achievement though. I came across a crimson biome and tried to blend in with the population, but this fat disgusting pig didn't get fooled by the disguise, so I turned it into a good roast. Day 16. I'm still looking for a fortress, but I stumbled upon a ruined nether portal on the way. I'll take the gold blocks and the golden apple. Thank you very much. I had to cross a lava lake, but thankfully those gravel platforms came in handy. I meant the golden apple came in handy. While I was at it, I decided to grab some more logs, cause with this shader, oh boy, they look absolutely beautiful. I came across this black rock structure and realized with the achievement that this was the top of a bastion. Naturally, I got curious and wanted to see what it had, and almost instantly regretted my decision. No, that's a lot of damage! I seriously forget how hard these guys hit. I was almost full diamond and I still lost 4.5 hearts. I found a chest and the loot would have been disappointing if it wasn't for the golden apple and the bone blocks. I was looking for more chests but got startled by a zombie piglin and decided that I didn't want to die here anyway. I preferred almost dying to magma blocks. Like, never underestimate these guys, these little things can still hit you. After enough walking around, I finally found what I was looking for, a fortress. I entered the fortress and immediately found the nether warts, and got my first blaze rod, and stumbled upon the blaze spawner, so naturally I farmed them until I had a decent amount of blaze rods. Day 17. My armor was about to break, so I decided to return home with 7 blaze rods. The problem is that I lost the pathway, and I had to dig back to the coordinates. Oh, that's the problem. I did what any normal person would do and crafted 7 golden pickaxes. Surely it would be enough. And spoiler alert, it wasn't. Thankfully I ran into some blackstone so I could make a stone pickaxe. And a bit more mining later, I finally saw the end of the tunnel. So I arrived back home safely and also regretted going to voice chat.
Ich hab mich tanzen gesehen.
Day 18. I grew more potatoes with all the bone blocks I gathered from the bastion chest, and now that I had all the ingredients, it was time to craft all the necessary equipment and to brew the weakness potion. Until I realized I don't have any glass bottles. I could go find a witch and pray drops me a glass bottle, or I can trade with piglins for fire resistance potion and drink the content inside of it. And if your memory is working, then you already know that I'm not messing with the witches. I found my saving grace, dug a hole, and forced them to trade with me. I also made sure to lock the baby away so it doesn't give me reduced loot. That was until a Zoglin tried to attack me, but apparently the piglins really didn't like that child because they didn't let him approach me. And here we have it, a fire resistance potion, but knowing myself I was probably going to mess this up, so I went ahead and grabbed 2 more. Or just 1 more. Okay, I guess it's fine, I'm okay with that. I mean, 2 should be more than enough, like there's no reason I would fail this. What? You guys didn't believe me? Oh, and I also made a new diamond pickaxe, and a bow, and a fishing rod, and 15 wool, and 5 bed. Then I proceeded to expand the villager hole, and in day 19, the villagers were finally cured. But first, they have a lot of breeding to do, so I made a villager breeder. They loved the idea so much that they went up there by their own. Oh, okay. Then I guess you can start working. I made a grindstone and removed the enchantment of 3 of my enchanted books. Yes, including the mending one. Why? So I can make a lectern to get infinite mending books. And then I went exploring. Killed a witch that brought me a healing pot and went mining. I guess I was just waiting for the villager to grow up. Like, I didn't get a lot of things done during that period of time. I came across a patch of dirt and collected the entirety of it. After all, these aren't that common. I came back home and saw that I was missing a villager. Oh. No, stop being silly and come back inside. I made an iron door, but it's not to lock them away and restrict them, okay? It's for their safety. Hello? Sorry mister, but we don't take visitors. I appreciate the donation though. Anyway, I dug a hole for the villager to go through, just so he could become my employee. Day 21. I started the day farming carrots this time. Then I shot the freshly born baby and then prepared 2 composters so I can easily farm emeralds. And if you thought that I really meant it when I said this, then you're wrong. This was not going to be easy to farm. You know, the more I look at this entrance, the more I imagine what house I could make, so I went ahead and made the entrance look a lot better. Obviously this is far from done, but it serves as a reminder of what type of house I want to create. Just in time for the farmer to get a job. Day 22. I really underestimated how much carrots I needed, so instead of killing skeletons, I went to the nether and grabbed all these bone blocks. And when I say all of these bone blocks, I do mean all these bone blocks. Look at this, I got enough bone blocks to end the world hunger. But instead I'm going to use these carrots for my own capitalistic interest. That kid may be starving to death, but if it means that I can't get my mending pickaxe, then what's the point? Oh, and I also bought bookshelves for enchanting. I decided to put my enchanting table inside the spider dungeon. After all, it's temporary as well. I started with my hoe, you know, because it's very important. That's pretty good. This, not so much. Ugh, that hurts. Okay, now we're talking. Never mind, we're not talking anymore. I'll be back. I took this opportunity to also collect some crimson wood as well as some shroom lights. Day 26, I continued to farm XP and collected glowstone on the way as well. And at the end of the day, I came back home and deposited all my items.
Round 2. Fight!
Now I'm satisfied. Oh wait. Now I'm satisfied. Now that I had good enough gear, I decided to go wood chopping. You know, everyone's favorite activity. Just chopping down wood for 8 hours just to end up using everything in 2 seconds. The only problem was to find enough space to chop down these trees. Oh look, an overhang next to my base. Looks like a lovely place to plant some trees. Let me just clean it from those mobs. Oh, I didn't see it, but what's the big deal anyway? I set those off like a million times and nothing bad ever happened to me. Like, I'm so confident I'm going to chop down a tree next to it. Okay, maybe I should remove them. Wouldn't want a warden to spawn next to my house. I should have seen that one coming. But maybe you can't actually spawn the warden outside of ancient cities. After all, it's the 4th one I set off in a row. Anyway, I went back to farming wood. After all, we have a house to build. I'm lacking a good place to plant those, so I'm going back to the overhang. After all, I'm pretty sure that a warden can't spawn outside of ancient cities, so what's the worst that could happen to me? Day 38. The biggest mistake of my life just got committed. I'm lucky to have even managed to run away from him without him noticing. But now I have a big problem. If the warden gets attracted to the noise my villager makes, he will kill them. And I will have to start all over again. Somewhere else because my base would become inaccessible. And I don't have the means to fight the warden. I figured that he would just dig back down after a certain while. But I didn't account for the infinite fish spawner that are the water streams. These small guys makes noise to attract the warden and permanently keep him in here. Yes, the big problem wasn't the warden. is the fishes. I thought that by waiting he would just wander off in the dark, but they spawn so fast that they keep luring him back to the spot. And I didn't want to risk death by going above him and blocking the water source. Imagine if I just fall in front of him. So if the fishes were luring him, it was time for me to do some luring of my own. It worked for a bit. I managed to put him next to mobs, hoping that we would just go far away killing them. But the opposite was also true. Very true. Take that fish. Okay, he doesn't like fish apparently. I even tried a fishing rod, but he doesn't like fishing rods as well. This poor witch is getting bullied, but maybe she deserves it because her presence is giving me a permanent darkness effect. It was quite annoying in fact. I went to my base to grab some arrows and saw that the warden has moved away quite significantly, so I knew this was my chance. I'm never going to the deep dark ever again. Day 30, I went back to chopping down trees, but this time I'm not going too far in the overhang. And now I think I have enough materials to build a house. Wait no, actually I need stone. A lot of stone. Now we're talking. Have you guys ever prepared all the materials to build something and ended up creating something completely different? Yeah, I'm creating a villager training hall now, but I didn't want it to contrast too much with the cave atmosphere, so I made the entrance a geode, or at least tried to make it look like a geode. I started making the interior but couldn't settle on the design. I kept mining out the interior and then made the holders for the villagers to trade. I was pretty satisfied but ultimately ended up making it bigger. Day 33, I finished making the holders and I tackled the floor with a combination of stone, cobblestone and gravel. I also made a moss roof to give this place a cave vibe because I obviously didn't have enough of those. But this wouldn't be a villager training hall if I didn't have a villager breeder. So I was back to being a dwarf and digging holes. And the interior would be made out of crimson wood, black stone, terracotta and smooth basalt. The next thing I needed was to bring all these villagers inside the training hall. That was until I got interrupted by the sound of a dying golem. I'm sorry sir, but you need to go.
How about you?
I stood there in shock, questioning my entire life, as well as, why did he do 6 hearts of damage? I'm literally in full diamond with prot 3 and 4 pieces. I went to finish the job though, don't worry. So anyway, I made a path to transport all the villagers safely. So anyway, I brought them back and placed them inside the holders, but this guy didn't want to go in. I tried blocking him, but his fat nose wouldn't fit inside. I even tried drowning him, and this is when I realized that the trapdoor was somehow blocking him. How? The others went inside rather smoothly, and with that the villager training hall was complete, and immediately started to look around for a spot to build the iron farm. This is where I remembered I had a small pathway next to my house that leads to a good spot. If you don't build iron farms in your world, start doing this, it's so useful. They're cheap and easy to make too. I went ahead and lit the area up to prevent mobs from spawning, and then I made a proper pathway using andesite because it looks cool. You know, I like andesite, it blends in with the cave super well, and also I had too much of it. And then for some reason I went from using andesite to stone bricks. Why? I don't know, I'm as confused as you are. Next up on the list, I crafted all the redstone components I needed and went on building the farm, until I realized I needed beds, and the ones I had are already occupied. But thankfully, I have a spider spawner. I know, I'm finally using it for its intended purpose. So I sat there, waiting. Day 38 and 39. For some reason, a good chunk of the footage was lackier than a PowerPoint, but I pretty much continued the iron farm. And then I brought a zombie, and called him Bob, and placed down the lava and the water and started the machine. And of course I just had to mess it up. I tried killing him without dying, but the golem really tried his best to make this a peaceful matter. Unlucky for him though, I don't want to make peace with goodies. Thank you for the iron. Okay, surely this time it will work. I proceeded to spend the rest of the day as well as the entirety of day 39 spawn-proofing the entire area, which makes it look 10 times worse by the way, but I don't care, I'm too lazy to build the entire thing again. Perfect. Now that I gave the villagers a home, if you can even call it that, actually 3 of them are crying for help, 7 are working 24/7 and 2 are Yeah. Okay, scratch that. Now that I gave villagers something to do, it was time for me to create a home. I used the hole I made for the first villager breeder as an extension for my home, and then used a combination of deep slate tiles. What was that? I used a combination of deep slate tiles, calcite and smooth quartz for the walls. If you couldn't tell, calcite and quartz are my favorite blocks. And then I experimented with some blocks at the entrance, but honestly I kept making things look a lot worse. So I settled with some leaves. You can call me basic if you want. I proceeded to make a small balcony maintained by cobblestone walls. Although I ran into an issue with the balcony, the ceiling was way too low for it. So I spent the rest of the day fixing that. And the rest of the day 41. Day 42. I worked on the second floor, made a roof, and then expanded it with deep slate. I also took this opportunity to add more moss on top of the cave ceiling since I had to remove it in the first place. The roof looked good, but something was off about it. Much better. Wait, hold on. Much better. Then I proceeded to mine all the stone inside my house for the rest of day 43 and 2/3 of the day 44. And I replaced the stone floor with some oak plank. I even made the side entrance cause one man needs 2 entrances. On day 45 I went down to chop some more wood cause I didn't have enough of it to continue my house. But in the end I really didn't need it cause I just ended up using deep slate for my walls. And I don't regret it, it looks awesome. I wanted to work on the inside, but with all the furniture I had it was pretty hard to visualize my walls. So I spent some time taking all the chests inside and moving them outside, which was a great idea because it helped me visualize how I wanted my walls to look like. Day 47. I needed a way to get to the second floor, but I didn't want to take up a lot of space. So I settled with this design. And to be honest, I don't know if it was a good idea, but at least it works. I did decorate it to make it feel less empty though. And then I made the TV. Cause why not? I went on and made the second floor, and in day 48 I digged a hole on the east side of the wall so I can place down all my chests. But since trees aren't common in this world, chests are pretty expensive, so I spent the rest of the day wood chopping. Day 49, I used crimson wood behind the chests, but it's really just cause they look gorgeous with this shader. Like, look at this. It just doesn't hit the same without it. And then I thought, hey, what if I use all the shroom lights that I spent a lot of effort gathering? I actually don't regret it, it looks pretty good. And with that done, all I need to do is to place down all the chests and to make a roof. But first, I need to place down my bed, and now I can make the roof. I spent the rest of the day making it, but to be honest, I don't know if I like it or not. Day 50. I moved the content of everything I had outside to the inside of my house. Oh, and I also decorated the east side exit. And then I created a small aquarium where I placed all the axolotls I captured. On day 51, I moved the enchanting setup inside my house with all the other enchanting equipments. I also took this opportunity to organize all my chests, and this took longer than expected. Finally, I went to check on the iron farm just to realize that iron golems can spawn inside water. After taking all my frustration onto him, I came up with the laziest fix ever. But now, my house is finally done. Day 52 to 58. I went to the nether for 2 things. You see, my tools were running low on durability, and I had no XP farms, so the best way to repair my tools at the moment was just to mine for some quartz, which I did until I realized that I could just mine for quartz while looking for the second thing. What is the second thing, you may ask? Netherite. And I would need a lot of it, because I plan to turn everything I had into netherite. And the way I will also keep all the quartz that I collected, because like I said, I like quartz, but it also prevents my pickaxe from breaking. After all, it was receiving a certain level of abuse that only this shot can describe. I did all of this by walking, by the way. I don't have all the food in the world, and besides it was a very good idea because I stayed in the nether for a long time. And this is mostly due to my netherite luck. There is only one word that can describe it. Abysmal. The number of times I came across a One Piece was nuts. At one point I became so impatient I put on the old Minecraft texture hoping it would make netherite pop out. Now it doesn't work as much as I thought. If anything, it made me appreciate the looks of the newer texture. Like, you don't realize how weird some of these textures look until someone points it out and changes them. Anyway, I finally got all the netherite I needed and dug back up to old forest. And while I was at it, I took some wood with me. No reason not to. Once I arrived back home, I stored everything I had and smelted all the ancient debris. And while I was waiting for that to finish, I enchanted some gear that had mediocre enchantments on it, as well as the bow. And with those ingots and the smithing table, I finally covered myself in debris. Get it? That's the name of the achievement. What? I wasn't kidding when I said I wanted to turn everything into netherite. Day 59, I farmed skeletons for some bone meal so I can grow carrots to give to my villager breeder. And yes, it took the entire day. Day 60 to 62. I got tired of farming skeletons for some food and went ahead and dug a hole in the wall to make an automatic crop farm. For the block palette, I settled for some deep slate, warped and crimson wood. I dug out another floor for the carrots and I made it almost identical to the first floor, but instead of warped wood, it will be crimson wood. I need the collection system for the farm, and for that I need redstone and a lot of time to figure out what the hell I was doing. After fixing the machine, I made a water elevator for the drops to go up. I also messed up the hopper system along the way, cause doing things first try is overrated. You know what else isn't overrated though? Doing something and realizing that you forgot something important along the way. Like, how am I supposed to make this machine if I don't have more than 3 crops? I need to fix that, and what better way to fix it than to go to another soul sand valley and grab all the bone blocks over there, since the last one didn't really appreciate my last intervention. And if there is something I learned during this period of time, is that digging under lava is much faster and safer than to just bridge across it. Well, 80% of the time. Now that's interesting. I just found heaven. Actually, this is quite the opposite from heaven. We're in the nether, like it's literally hell. So would that be heaven for hell? I'm thinking way too much into this. Day 63 and 64. My food supply reached 0, but thankfully these big piggies were looking like just enough meat for me to survive the trip. So I got back to collecting bone blocks, but then I found to myself that I could kill 3 parrots with 1 arrow. And not only get the blocks I needed, but I could also get the wither skeleton skulls and the blaze rods that I needed. I found a fossil that was stuck inside the fortress and it led me right up to the blaze spawner. So naturally I farmed a couple of them and almost got my skull stolen. Twice. I went back to the forest for some food and found heaven in hell. I actually need to stop saying this. Anyway, they gave me a lot of food. Like, look at all these pigs. I even received a gift from a nearby piglet. Good old bestie. I found a wither skeleton inside the hole and he gave me another skull. And finally, while mining for some bone blocks, I got my third wither skeleton skull. I thought about going home, but it would be a shame if I didn't loot the fortress beforehand. Oh. Why not? And to end the day, I came back home with all the good loot. Day 65. With all the bones that I had, I got to growing crops so I could fill my farms with them, and then did a quick trip to the villager breeder. I farmed a bit more and placed all the crops inside the farm. But before, I wanted to see if the collection system worked. Yay! Now that I knew it was working, I planted the rest of the potatoes and went back home to grab some blocks for the walls. I told you guys, no one wants you, stop harassing me. I wasn't sure of what block I would use, but I knew for a fact that I needed glass and lanterns. I started digging out the entrance of the farm, but then realized, wait, I need some wood for that, so I got to chopping. Day 66 gave me a great idea. Why should I spend more time chopping down trees when I can use the 2 things I had the most of? Stone and moss. It was genius, really. Although before getting anything done on the inside, I had to make a proper entranceway. A combination of wood, stone brick and cobblestone was surely about to do the trick. And well, it did. I did spend 10 minutes trying to figure out what I wanted to do, but it looks good. Anyway, on day 67, I went on and replaced every wall with a combination of stone brick and mossy stone brick. And then I added fences around the crops. Well, I want the villagers to get hurt, you know? And speaking about villagers, it was time for them to get inside. And this is what I call an accidental murder. The other villagers didn't seem to mind though, and thankfully there is no laws banning child labor in my world, so don't mind if I do. Day 68. I wanted to do a moss roof, but somehow I ran out of moss. Not that it took me long to get all the moss I needed, it was everywhere and I just needed to make the roof out of it. And to finish off the farm, I made the collection system look a bit better. I even left some room for some future extensions that might come in handy in the future, foreshadowing. To finish up the day, I brewed some strength potions. Day 69. There may not be a funny haha 69 joke, but there's a wither fight. I even took the free golden apple in my chest just in case something goes wrong. This went smoothly, but I did need all the golden apples. I was so happy to craft the beacon until I realized that there was no sky, therefore the beacon cannot work. And before you ask, no, I can't break the bedrock because it requires TNT, and I don't have sand in this world. And the wandering trader don't spawn down here, at least I think so, I haven't came across one yet. I then proceeded spending the rest of the day mining quartz. Why? XP! And I continued mining for XP for the entirety of day 70. Day 71, I enchanted in hopes for better equipment. Off to a great start. Decent, but I'm looking for infinity. Okay, that's good. Finally, but at the time of recording this, it was 2 AM, and this is what happens when you're tired and trying to go on autopilot. You remove all the enchantments on your boot thinking you can just swap the enchantments from one piece to the other.
Yes! 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 No! No! No!
Now I'm done. Day 73. After so many trips to the nether, I thought it would be nice to have a proper portal place, you know, instead of using that stupid spider dungeon. And for this nether portal design, I came up with the totally original idea of recreating the nether in the overworld. I know, it's shocking.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
As you can imagine, I used a lot of different nether blocks for this, but I kept it small. I didn't want it to take that much time. This looks good enough. I was getting tired of jumping on blocks every time I wanted to enter one of my builds, so for day 74 to 78, I dig out paths and fill them with a combination of stone, cobblestone, coarse dirt, and wooden planks. I would have preferred using spruce wood, but hey, it's better than nothing. I made the staircase to the villager trading hall and added cobblestone and oak logs to make it look better. To finish, I added stone buttons to make it look like pebbles. I'm going to pretend I didn't see that. Finally, to avoid any mobs from spawning in, I created those handmade lampposts. I've used this exact same design ever since I started on Minecraft on console in 2012. And well, yeah, they still look good to this day, so I keep using them. Oh, and I also gathered every colored axolotl inside the aquarium. Yeah, maybe I should remove 2 blues. I made another path for the crop farms, but this time I added gravel. Wait, what? So you're telling me that an iron golem can just spawn out of nowhere like this? Like, I was genuinely confused. The villagers had no way of seeing a mob, so there's no way he could have spawned in... I guess he's here now. So I called him... Bob. 2. Then I dug a hole in the ground to make a small pond. I even added some fossils around it. And to finish off the pathway, I added a staircase up to the nether portal. I even expanded the area a bit with some soul sand. I even picked up some lava to add to the portal. Day 78. It's finally time I paid the dragon a visit, but I used up all my golden apples, so I figured I would just brew a regeneration potion first. I went outside and witnessed cold-blooded murder. Truly criminal. The eye pointed in the direction of the deep dark, but for some unknown reasons, I decided to go around it. I managed to go beyond the deep dark, which made traveling a lot faster. Well, that was when mobs didn't try to kill me every 2 seconds. I ran into a giant wall, so I had to dig across to find the stronghold. So I kept on digging.
Steve, I've told you once, told you again. No drinking on the job.
Oh, come on.
Okay, so the electricity in my town went off. Yes, I do mean my whole town. So I lost a good chunk of the footage. But something weird happened with my world, and I'm going to let the video play out, so try to see if you can find the problem. Did you see it? Let me rewind it a bit so you can see better. There is 2 ender eyes on the floor, but I only threw 1. Believe it or not, I know the reason, and I think this needs an explanation cause it's actually nuts. So, like I said, the power in my town went out and therefore my PC shut down abruptly. This made me lose the footage I was recording, but thankfully my world was fine. Though something weird happened with it, I got set back like 100 blocks away from where I was before. At first I just thought that the world didn't save in that time period. After all, when you press pause you can sometimes see in the bottom right corner saving level. But this wasn't the reason, because all the items that I've used during that time period stayed used. My pickaxe durability, my food, and you guessed it, my ender eyes. And this blew my mind. I have never seen something like this happen. So why did it happen? I don't know. But hey, if you know something or have a theory about it, post it down in the comments. I'm interested to see that. Oh, and all my achievements got reset in the process. Yeah, I don't know, let's move on.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
I found the Stronghold. And the book. And the portal. The dragon just turned into a ghost. I collected my dragon egg and collected some end blocks just in case I need to decorate something in the future. My job here wasn't done though. I said at the start that I wanted to grab an elytra, and well, I'm doing exactly that. The first thing I did upon arriving was to collect some chorus flower, and then I made a small roof on top of my head to kill all the endermen in peace. With all these pearls, this was about to make exploring a walk in the park. See, I already found a city, but it was way too small. No boats or chests, there was only shulkers. But that's okay, I can just find another one, right? Right?
One eternity later.
It was starting to get ridiculous. I even bumped up my render distance to 46 chunks. My PC was maybe dying, but at least I could see far away. Hey look, and then city. And this time it had a boat. I looted the chest, but at this point my gear was just so much better than everything they had. But now I had an elytra. Sky was the limit, or rockets were the limit, cause I had no way to craft them. Nerfing my elytra was pretty hard. Oh, and I also removed my shaders for the time being, since it made the beam from the portals harder to see. It didn't matter though, cause portals are apparently the rarest thing in Minecraft. That or I'm just really unlucky. I even saw a lot more end cities. Like a lot more. But still no portals. At this point it felt like the game was just mocking me. Day 82. After spending the whole day flying around, I finally stumbled upon a portal. Goodbye at the end. And home sweet home. I placed down the dragon egg and the dragon head on gold blocks next to the aquarium as trophies. I also mined up all the diamonds I collected on my way with my fortune free pickaxe. 18 diamonds from 7? Not bad at all. I used up all the shulker shells that I had to make 4 shulker boxes that I dyed using lapis and poppies. 1 red, 1 blue, 1 purple, and 1 less purple. I also upgraded my boots with the Feather Falling 4 book found in the Stronghold. Now they were almost perfect. The 100 days were getting closer. I have yet to finish all my objectives since I had only made 2 farms yet, so I thought about making a gold farm, hence why I'm brewing fire resistance potion. And while I was at it, I also went ahead and traded with the piglin, the only enchant I was missing being soul speed. And look at what I got. With that out of the way, the only thing left to do was to farm magma blocks. Full shulker boxes of it to be precise. This took 2 days. Day 85. I need to go on the nether roof to build this farm, but with no way to break bedrock, I need to build a lot of portals to avoid getting stuck. So I went to check a lava lake so I could mine its content. And let me tell you something, even with efficiency 4 netherite, this still takes forever to mine. Day 86. For some reason, I decided to place all the new villagers at the breeder inside their training stand, but these two guys became fishermen and they would not let go of that profession. They decided that they wanted to sell fish their entire life and they were happy with it. So I broke down their profession block, but that did nothing. I just had to respect the commitment. So I gave up, but I also realized something. I have no turtles, so the only gold farm I could make was the one in my Skywalk world. You should totally check out the series, by the way. The only problem with this design is that it's very resource demanding and takes a long time to make. Resources, I have. Time? Not so much. So I shifted my focus onto another farm, and the only component that I was missing was gold for powered rails, which is why I went to the nether to grab some. It's unironically faster to just farm gold in the nether, and I planned to come back to my base for day 87, but I found another bastion that wasn't too far away from my portal, but this time, I was well geared for the situation. A quick exploration trick can't be too bad. I even found a mending pickaxe, and another reminder that all my achievements got resetted. I wonder if these guys still hurts. Yup, they still do. Oh, mistakes were made. Never mind, I'm just too OP to die anyway. So far, the loot has been underwhelming at best, but I know a secret when I see one. Hey, more gold I don't need. A trip back to my base just to craft everything I needed. Day 88. The farm that I plan to make is an automatic melon and pumpkin farm. So it's quite convenient that I left some space to build it. The only thing I needed to do was just to dig out the rooms. And because I had so much quartz that I didn't use, I decided to make this room out of quartz. I added quartz stairs, then I added an amethyst floor with redstone lamp for the lighting. Then I proceeded to light because I'm using calcite with quartz. I wonder why I got that idea. Now it was time for the roof. Have to find a purpose for all these magma blocks. Now I need to make the rooms for the crops, and well, it's starting to get repetitive, so I'm just going to... Trying to build redstone stuff on the ground is pretty confusing. I even ended up outside. Or outside the inside. Can I even call this an outside? Anyway, I had to cover up the farm without it looking too weird, and so far it was. So far it was not too bad, but I will need to work on it. Now for the other side. I ended up outside again. Now that I had silk touch, Now that I had silk touch, I can finally do something I wanted to do ever since I created the training hall. I realized I built the site completely wrong, so I feel like I'm missing something. Oh right, a collection system. This took me a lot longer than I would want to admit. Before I forget anything, it's best that I patch up the ceiling, you know, in case a creeper comes in. The only thing I needed to do now was to decorate this whole place so it won't look too bad. I may or may not have forgotten the seeds. Day 96. I really thought these seeds would drop more often, but I spent 5 minutes growing seeds and then breaking them and hoping they would drop duplicates. The only thing left to do now is to place down the seeds, but there is a problem with it. Can you spot it? Yes, those seeds are placed under the pistons. I spent the rest of day 97 finishing the melon part of the build and added a final touch with some redstone lamp and white glass panes. And you know what this means? I finished up all my objectives before hitting day 100. But you know that I need to reach day 100. Like, I'm not going to name this video I spent 98 days in a cave. No. I need 100 days. Day 98, I didn't really have something to do, so I just kind of wandered around trying to waste time and thought about putting up some more trophies. After all, I can't use the beacon without breaking bedrock, so might as well hang it off the ceiling. And on day 99, I restored the spider dungeon. I didn't get to use it that much, but it's the least I could do for my spidey friends. And since I had an extra weather skeleton skull, I made an armor stand with diamond armor, cause why not? With the day ending, I decided to relax and enjoy everything I accomplished during that time period.